Zanim zaproszę na scenę,
Ladies and gentlemen, before I invite to the main stage the next guest, I'd like to quote Stanisław Lem again. What a horror or abhorrence. In art, something may be done well or horribly. Van Gogh will paint to you an old chamber pot so that you can only kneel down. Now, shoddy artist will make it turn the most beautiful woman into a quiche. You need this catharsis, and that's it. This quote is something that perfectly well fits design. And now may I invite Ms. Gosia Regalic, designer from Regalic Studio. Gosia, please. May I have my slide changer? The slide changer's over there. Hello, can you hear me? Does it work? I'll try to repair it. Okay, now it works. Good afternoon. My name is Gosia Regalic, and today I'll tell you about the latest project that I co-create. It's Design Nature, as the subject range of this conference is connected to business supported by design, and with the pandemic, I believe we're still stuck in that pandemic, and we think what's going on, what will come in the future. This project more or less took shape last year, and now it's taking wind into its sails. So I think it's also a particular answer to what those strange times have brought us, and how design can support business, but also our personal well-being, and also the nature of our planet. My name is Gosia Regalic, as it has been said. Unfortunately, my husband Tomek is not here. We were supposed to run this together, so I'll try to be a worthy representative of us. We're a couple in life and in business. Work and life intertwine, and this creates a multi-thread, curious, sometimes hard to envisage whole, and I believe you will be able to see it in the presentation when I discuss Design Nature. Well, the first quote that comes to us, we have it at the back of our head, and we try not to forget it. Viktor Papanek, a very important person in industrial design, said that there are professions more harmful than industrial design, but there are only a handful of them. He also said that the best thing that industrial designers, architects and planners could do is to stop activity altogether, and we remember that, to realize that designing is a powerful responsibility, but we still think what to do so as not to be forced to stop that activity and to contribute to a better tomorrow somehow. That's interesting in the context of how much you say today about the essence of designing, and about how this design, to what, how many things it can influence, and how much it can impact sustainable future. In a document from last year, the European Commission estimates that up to 80% of environmental impact of a product is determined at the design phase. That's a very important piece of news, and you've got to remember it. We can do it very well, or we can do it very poorly, and then our impact of the designer is really great. So that's a great responsibility. We're trying to stand up against it, and we're trying to be more and more aware of that. And somehow, in that sense of responsibility and eagerness to go somewhere further than just run a design studio that designs more and more products, which, by the way, we still do. This Design Nature project has been born. Design Nature is a space in the physical space, but also metaphorical. It's a space for creative cooperation of designers, but also organizations, people, and businesses.
As well as any other interested parties. So our approach is a holistic one, especially when it comes to design, but also to life. We try to respect nature, we try to cooperate in an interdisciplinary matter. Sobole, a creative campus. What is it? It's a location in a minor village east of Warsaw, an hour and a half driving. So you have this beautiful Polish countryside as a background, and there we are creating this advanced R&D campus. There you can take care of yourself, but also you have a space there to work creatively, to be inspired by nature, and to meet other people. Design Nature is also about a community which we have been building slowly for some time. So we've already established some links with great partners, and hopefully this group will get bigger. We will have more and more projects that are going to be more valuable and more interesting. So what is Design Nature? It is a venture. It is based on 4 pillars, 4 areas rather: education, innovation, incubation, and animation. So these actions are quite diverse, and we have decided to introduce some order there so as to understand what could happen under this project, what we could do together, and how to categorize it. Let me begin with education. Both me and Tomek have been involved. We have been involved in education for years now, either under the framework of various institutions or when we have been traveling around the world, because we used to travel a lot, much less so recently. However, we had this honor to educate across the world, and we also come up with our own educational ventures, such as Design Summer School and others. Mazda Design Experience are some of the projects that we've been supporting. Now, when it comes to education, when it comes to interdisciplinary education, it is based on action, hands-on approach, as some people call it, when you learn by doing. So there we have been inspired by our journey in Maine-Bois-Boucher. It's a location in central France. They have those summer design workshops that are run by various designers from across the world. Young designers, young architects go there, as well as people who are simply interested in the subject. And the workshop lasts a week in a beautiful location. People are surrounded by nature there. They design and create. A great many people from various cultures meet there. It's a bit of a melting pot that favors creativity, and you see beautiful things that happen. This is just an example, a meeting platform that was designed and built in less than a week, jointly with the participants. It gives you great satisfaction when you run such workshops. It shows you how much you can do in a short time, and how wonderful an energy is unleashed when people work together. But we've been to other places too. New York, Turkey, Sweden, Mexico, the list goes on. All of these have been wonderful experiences. We've been meeting people. There was an exchange of creative energy which gives us power. It powers us on. So there is this question in Polish, do you need to buy a brewery to have a pint of beer? So that was a bit of a question, but basically it gives us so much enjoyment and satisfaction that we decided to do something at our own campus. And so we did. We've been organizing various workshops there for a few years now. Design Summer School Org is the banner under which it all happens. People from all over the world go there, and they are inspired by those other people that come to this little location, and that actually works, which makes us happy. In the last 4-5 years, we've had a number of editions. We have hosted people from different corners of the world. With every edition, we see that such a space far from the beaten track, it favors interdisciplinary and creative work. Amazing things happen in such an environment. And great creative energy is unleashed. This is last year's work, rather. Design Experience Workshop. There, participants were to work with cork. The next pillar of design nature is innovate. Innovation through design. That's what we do, and this is the medium where we find it easy to work, and we would like this campus to support design actions. We, as a studio, Regalic, we've had a number of clients. We have worked for all of them. And there are great people behind each of every single of those projects. We are happy that we can work on projects that are not only interesting but worthwhile. So, innovation through design will be related to various areas, including our cooperation with public institutions. Here, you have furniture designed for Polin Museum in Warsaw, and here this was a furniture that was used by diplomats when Poland held their presidency in the EU. Wooden chair is another source of innovation in our studio. Traditional products. And yet, even here, we try to look for something new. We try to look for something that would be better. Naturalborn chair was created in cooperation with AHEC, which is the American Wood Exports Agency, to promote this American red oak. Now, it has a very low carbon footprint because this product is made of simple wooden planks, very little waste. A bit of a manifesto, not just a product. And more projects, those created jointly with Puget, furniture producer. And also you have furniture with upholstery. Nobo is another of our clients. Here, it was stressed that this sofa, this couch with upholstery is not terribly sustainable because these products, when unused, end up dumped somewhere. But here we came up with a solution that makes it possible to dismantle these elements for later use if a product completes its life cycle. And the way we approach design is that products should not be out of use, they should be timeless. Acoustic furniture is another example. It is important when you're designing office spaces, but these days, office space merges with our homes. So acoustic is important. It is also important to have those zones where sound behaves differently, which is where we do some search and some research, rather. Since we are involved in educating people, it is important to get involved in projects where you design the environment for education. Academia High School, we worked for them. It is a British A-level school. So this was built from scratch. Every single detail mattered there. But many other projects. We did take a proposal, but also we worked for Zahenta, the Frederick Chopin Museum, and other experimental setups for the theatre for children. Resourcefulness is another important thing for us, especially, or rather also when we are working with metal. Resourcefulness is important there. So this is a hanger. It's got 7. And waste was used to create it. We worked with the waste that we had at our disposal because we wanted to use what was available rather than generating even more waste. And in every project we tried to rather look for some added value so as to improve those products. We also have those one-off projects, limited editions or one-off items. Nash collection created for Adam Mickiewicz Institute for Wanted Design Fairs in New York. Genotype, lamps. Dumbo, an experimental chair for Moroso. This is when we try to approach it as a bit of lab work. It tests the limits of our capacity to see what works, what doesn't. So it is a bit of a creative lab, a bit of a playground where we can grow in our design work. The next pillar is incubate. We have this creative campus, more about it later. We have this space, and we want to use it to support projects that are innovative in one way or another, that are linked to this holistic approach that we have with sustainable growth, with the idea of circular economy. And we would like to incubate as many of such ventures as possible in our campus. Tre Products is a brand that Tomek co-founded. It is a bit of a Trojan horse when it comes to consumption. The motto here is good life is about rejecting what is not necessary. It's about buying less but of high quality, and to pass it on to next generation if possible, which is an important motto for us. And another project, another idea and project that we've been incubating, Circular. It was born a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. So very much a child of pandemic. Isolation, social distancing is important here. So it is a space solution. It looks like a bench. We try not to use this word in this context. It's about meeting other people. We believe that this time of social distancing, of isolation, will be over one day or another, and people will be thirsty for meeting other people, for exchanging ideas. This is a project at this point, rather than a product, but we've had a number of versions of it, including one made of plastic, naturally recycled plastic. It is supposed to encourage people to be together. We also have a wooden version. It is a space where you can meet people offline. We hope that there will be more and more of such meetings and that Circular will be involved. The last area is animate. These are the actions that cannot be fit into the other three pillars, and that our creative campus can support and can help in making it happen. In our Sobola Creative Campus, we've seen a number of projects, and I hope that many more things will happen there. A number of mad creative workshops, movement, and ideas that support well-being and human welfare, taking care of yourself, yoga, but also meeting people at a bonfire, having a conversation with other people, as well as events where dance, culture, music, and other disciplines meet, including, but also on top of that, we have meetings at a table, on a blanket, on grass, taking care of your health by practicing yoga, eating good food, being together with other people. This is the added value that we are trying to stimulate in Sobola, that we care about. We want people to go there, to come there, to implement their projects, but also we want them to feel good so that they feel taken care of. And once they've left, they will have this new energy and they'll be restive. Now, the campus itself is located in Sobola, which is a village. So there is an old park there and an architectural complex. This is this newly built building of a research center. We designed it together with the Medusa Group. There is a large space for cooperation for project development. And now we are turning into this project development center. It'll be good for prototyping, and you will have a number of options to work on projects in a comprehensive manner. When you're there, in nature, in between what is new and what is old, you have the very modern and the very old architecture there. All that so that creativity is stimulated, so that it is supported by the environment, by the surroundings. And a few more words to tell you what we could do together. At Design Nature, we want nature and vast technologies to meet so that we can work at this cross-section. We want to look for synergies. Now the campus itself will be furnished with highly advanced technologies. You will have specialist workshops. You'll be able to work with ceramics and metal and wood. You'll be able to prototype very quickly. Also, we'll be stressing sustainable development. We'll be looking at a product life cycle too, and everything that is related to it. There is a place where you can document everything, take photos. You have event space, creative residencies. You have accommodation, and we will also create a membership program. A lot of it I know, but we see that there is some synergy in the place where all these things meet. In this last year, a year and a half, we have sensed that this project, this venture, is important for us and for the community that we're trying to build. Design and other things should be approached holistically. You need to take care of a number of facets of what you're doing. Please join us in co-creating this space. Thank you so very much.